What's going on with the barn?
Well, it's been in our family 117 years and ready to fall down.
Do you feel like the farming aspect is kind of fading towards
Right. The small farmer is dwindling away.
What do you consider to be a small farmer, acreage-wise?
Boy, this is my own personal opinion. So she goes, your dad and I had a lot of conversations over there, and she was just crying. She
really?
teared up. Yeah. That rolling pin was made by Mom's grandpa, Roland's, I think.
Yeah.
And she dropped it and the handle broke, so you really can't use it, but Mark glued it. He did a good job gluing. Are we recording right now?
Yeah, it's going. It's just... Today, I talked with my own Aunt Judy. She lives in the countryside in rural central Ohio, out among the classic American small farmers. She shares her unique perspective on life and her own current project, which is the restoration of the old family barn, as well as her perspective on solar companies. These are major companies that are leasing out huge tracts of land near her and encroaching on her traditional way of life. She offers a heartfelt and unique perspective. Enjoy. Okay, I've got some questions about Richwood. So, do you still consider it a farming community, or has it kind of moved on?
Well, compared to the world, it's a farming community.
Okay.
Yes, it is a farming community. I mean, we have little Richwood town. There's not as many bigger farmers. There's a lot more entries with, like 4-H entries with rabbits, sheep, and goats. And when I was younger, there was a lot of steers, cows and pigs. There was a ton.
Oh, okay. Still at the fair.
Still at the fair.
Yeah.
So that's changed because there's just not that many of those type farmers. The small farm. Now it's like suburbia or urban America having a rabbit at their house.
Gotcha.
Versus having a big pen. They're not, you can't have that. Yeah.
All the farms around here, they're doing soy and corn. That's like...
Oh, well, yeah. For grain.
For grains.
Mainly soybeans, then corn, I'd say, and then wheat.
Okay,
maybe
gotcha.
a little bit of oats.
So there's not a whole lot of like animal farming.
There's some.
Okay. And then as you've grown up here, do you see? Because every time I come back, there's more and more houses being built.
Yes.
And so, do you feel like the farming aspect is kind of fading towards a more?
A lot of the farm succession is not there, and so therefore, more so than renting their fields, there are some people renting their fields, but some are selling farm ground for development, and others for when the solar route.
Right.
Yeah.
Are those the two? Those are the two major routes.
Mm-hmm.
But to make it work, it seems like there's a few farmers that are consolidating, and they're renting out and they're farming, or renting, and they're farming like a ton of land.
Right.
There's very few, like back to like what our family doing that small plot.
Right. The small farmer is dwindling away. Yeah. It's just it's expensive.
What do you consider to be a small farmer, acreage-wise?
Boy, this is my own personal opinion. So, like, I think 1,000 acres is a lot.
Okay.
I would say somebody has 800 acres, that's, good.
Gotcha.
We have 158, that's a small time farmer.
Okay.
But yeah, people can own that and then rent more too.
Right. Right, because as we pass these farms, are most of them in the 100 to 200 acre plot sizes?
Oh, well, that just depends.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's like 40 or, you know, more. But the thing is, they have large equipment, so some areas they can't get in if it's too small.
Gotcha.
So, like the field around my house is, I don't know, over 350 acres.
Okay.
So somebody with some big equipment can get in there and get that done.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? But if you have smaller equipment, it's going to take you a while.
Sure. Okay, and then so it seems like a lot of small farmers really enjoy what they're doing, and then they have to have like another job to supplement it. Is that kind of the way to do it? Okay. Gotcha. So where'd you work during your career?
Honda.
Okay. How'd you like it?
Did not. But I have to say Honda
Tell me what you really think,
paid
Judy.
my bills, raised my family. Dad always said that too with Tecumseh.
Yeah.
He, you know, worked at Tecumseh, and that, you know, paid the bills and raised us. And then he could retire and, you know, have a hobby.
Sure.
Yeah.
Were both of you looking to do more farming, or wish that you could have had more land to farm on?
Well, you know, I did not do the farming. You know, Cody did the farming. His son
Yeah.
did the farming. He always helped out. So Cody, I'm sure, would love to full-time farm. So he would like to rent some more land, and he wants to get some animals.
Sure.
They'll start off with some 4-H animals and then go from there. We'll see. Now Abby she always wanted to, I don't know how the farming thing, it got going, I think, with Abby because she grew up on a farm. Abby always liked animals, but I don't know how Neil started, you know?
Okay.
But now, so they have, I think, over 700 acres, so I consider that a lot. And at one point when I asked her, they had 250 head of cattle. That's a lot.
Okay.
To me. Yeah. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
When you work and you farm, now Abby has a job but farms. Neil, full-time farm. And I can see why they need to, because the more you have, the more time you need.
Sure. But okay, and why did they leave this area to do cattle? Can you not do cattle here?
They could have did cattle here. That's a question that I wish you could get an answer from.
Okay. Oh no.
No, I think they just like being away. They kind of, what do you call that? Off the grid or something.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
they homeschooled, she works for somebody but at home, a financial.
so it's not that this area is particularly good for corn, soybean, grain.
I think it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's decent. It's not the best.
Okay.
You know, where Mark lives, south of us, is better.
Okay. Is it that, like I guess I would have thought that's all the same area, like in terms of environment, but you're saying it varies.
Mark's, you can get that. It's the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. The ground. If you go, you can look at, I don't know what they call it, a plot. I don't know what they call it, but it'll tell you what kind of soil you have.
Gotcha.
And your own farm has many different types of soil.
Sure.
So yeah, this isn't the best, but it's not the worst either.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's going on with the barn?
Well, the barn just got a little renovation. It's stage 1 is complete. stage one consists of cleaning it out, which it was packed full. It's been in our family 117 years. And so it was packed full of, you name it, old, there might have been some old equipment, but mainly old straw, hay, things Dad had brought home and just stored up there. A lot of rust, a lot of rusty old things.
And it was like, I mean, it was borderline falling down.
It was ready to fall down.
I thought.
Well, no.
Okay.
When we talked to the people that we talked to, well, the reason we talked to them was because either we work on it now or let it go. Is it worth restoring?
Okay.
It was at that point because we wanted to run some electric, but after looking at it, we really didn't have good boards to nail electric to.
So is the intent to do a historic rebuild or to shore it up structurally? Make it,
Okay,
or
so
where do you kind of land there? Yeah.
Well, this barn is very, I call primitive. So we didn't want it done fancy pants like,
Okay.
And so that's why there's not a whole lot of trim painting on it, and it's used for agriculture. So that's why we made those parts so you can pull equipment, wagons in and out. And there's Grandpa put grain bins up there. If we want to use them, we can store grain in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, what was
So now, no, it's great. It's great. So now it's structurally sound, and then
well, phase two is going to be get it more structurally sound,
Yeah.
so that it's lagged down to the foundations lagged down to the ground. And I mean, right now it's just sitting. The first crew we had work on it did okay, but it's just sitting on the foundation. It's not lagged in. So if a big storm came up, I'm afraid what would happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so they could have did a better job on that. So phase two is guys coming in and going to fix that so we can feel comfortable that it's not going to blow away. In a bad wind.
Are there lights in here? Can we turn it on?
Let's see, the light, I don't think there's lights on this side yet. It looks like light, it looks like he's about ready for them, but
Oh, okay. Or
here there is on this side. Here. So,
Okay, see, and I've never seen it this open.
no,
See-
it wasn't. Okay, so before you would, there's this door right here, and we still have debris from the shower. So,
Sure, that's fine.
So before you come in this area, this was the old milk house. That's why that is white, because when you're milking cows, it's white. So that part, this was the old milk house, and I think maybe, I don't even know if they had stanchions in here. We don't know the date of the barn.
Oh, the original.
Right,
Oh, really?
right.
But it's at least 120 years old. 120. You said it's been in the family.
117 years.
117
Yeah,
years.
and so
Wow.
whoever built before that, I looked at one point. I went to look at the taxes because my neighbor is a retired history teacher, and he told me if sometimes you can go and look on tax records, and when the taxes go up, you can tell that a barn was built or the
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so this is interesting. So our family was not the original owners of this land.
Oh no.
Who do you know who like it came in?
Boy, I have a paper on that.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I can tell you. Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original person was William Rickman,
Okay.
and his wife was Elizabeth. Rickman. And William Rickman was given this land through the Virginia Military Land Grant. So it was the Revolutionary War. The country had no money, so they gave people land. And I'm a member of the Friends of Ohio Barns, and we have a historian, and he did a little thing on that topic, and said that if anyone was given 1,000 acres or more, then they were probably somewhere. The more acres you were given, the higher up you were in the military.
Gotcha.
So William Rickman, we know from the old deed, which we have a copy of the deed. We had the original, and I don't know what happened to it. So it was on parchment paper. So, and it was signed by Thomas Jefferson was the president, and James Madison was the Secretary of State. So, William Rickman was given over 1,000 acres, and so I thought if he's been given that much land, then he was somebody in the military. So I pulled him up online, and sure enough, I found he was, I believe, the first surgeon.
Okay.
And so that was really interesting. And so then I did a little bit more research on them, and a lot of times those people did not move to their land, they sold it. And so, and that's what happened. And so in my research, I would have to look up the names of the homes,
Sure.
but they had a home in Virginia, and really wish I had that for this right now, but
It's all good.
yeah,
It's all good. It's
you can
loose.
look it up.
Loose.
But anyway, Elizabeth Rickman is, and wish I knew history a little bit better. Her dad, I don't know which one's the oldest, Benjamin Harrison and William Henry Harrison. One of them signed the Declaration of Independence,
Okay.
which was her father, and the other one became the President of the United States. That was her brother.
Okay.
So that was really cool information that I found out. So, so I pulled up online their home, and like I said, I don't remember the name of it, but it looks a lot like Mom and Dad's house. And the way it was built. So
okay.
I want to go down, you can tour it. I want to go down there and tour it to see how the house was laid out. Maybe I can see how maybe this house was laid out in that same way back in the day when it was built.
Okay. So
Because it had the
similar.
eyebrow windows, and it had a door with the, side lights
Sure,
on
sure,
it
sure.
and all that.
And then so this barn would have been built much later.
I don't know, because back in the day, normally they would throw a cabin up first, which I think they did because Mom's a bad storm came through last summer, and 98-mile-per-hour winds took the back of the roof off of her house. And so, so she had her old roof replaced, and we found where a small chimney went up in the front of the house, and her house has two big chimneys, just like that one in Virginia. It does too. So I think maybe the original little cabin had that little chimney in the front,
Sure.
and then the house was built bigger. So I think they probably put the cabin up, and then they would put their big barn up, and then they'd build their house bigger.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was going to try to look the tax
Look that
records up.
Okay, and then on this remodel here, right?
We don't like that. Don't even.
But no, I think this speaks to like
This
what
is going to get covered up.
this is what you've been doing though, right? So this is the
Don't do this one.
but this one it's great because I love the original stuff.
The pegs.
Right? Yeah. That it
But
was
see, like they cut a lot of these out,
Uh-huh.
and they shouldn't have. And so Mark put them back in.
okay.
He put this in
Yeah.
so that the boys would have something to play with. And then when he added this, now you can't get that out. So he goes, should I take that out? And I said, no,
But
it's okay.
okay, so this because this barn was built without nails.
Right,
The
wood
original.
pegs.
Okay,
Mhm.
and then the state of it was so, I don't know if you would call it rotted out or just
Yeah, so it was
decrepit.
rotted. I'm not sure why they cut it up so short, and then they molded it, and then they
Yeah. So
glued
every
that thing. This
every-
is where you want to. You really want to look at your contractor and what they're doing.
Okay. I know I know it's a process, but this is a major project, and it's like, so this is what has to happen though, is that all of the rotted beams have got to get replaced or shored up with
Yeah.
newer wood.
And this is gonna end up having concrete on it.
Sure.
So not all this will show.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. And so now at this point you've gone through and replaced all the main supporting beams.
Yeah, we're gonna change some more out.
Gotcha.
though, in another phase of the.
Okay. And
We had to sister up the
Yeah.
beams, the haymow floor up here, had to sister those up.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can see right there, the new floor was nailed on top of the old.
Gotcha.
Which I'm gonna knock all those nails.
Okay. And you chose to keep all of the original these cross beams
Right.
that have this is my favorite part of the barn, that have like the old notches in them.
Uh-huh.
This is so cool.
Hand hewn beams.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you all right.
Oh, yeah. And if somebody, that's what this is. If somebody really knows what they're
Yeah.
looking at, they could probably even tell that person was left or right-handed that did that.
Okay.
Another thing you look for is see if they're numbered or not, because it's because when they would cut those boards on the ground and then pair them up together and they number them a lot of times.
So each board then had a specific spot, and it was all custom, all
Yeah.
right.
But this part could have been added on. I'm sure it's been added on and from the original.
Yeah. And now, so I've got this half, the way I think about it in my head, half the barn is going to be for fun, for family gatherings, and half is going to be a work barn.
Well, I think we can store wagons, we have a need to store equipment in there. There's
Okay.
not going to be any animals in here anymore.
Yeah.
Dad's draft horses was in here, and it was a big wet hole in here. So we're glad that's all, fixed. This was concrete, bad concrete. It got busted up, and so we still need to work on that. And then, but this will actually be kind of like a work area. I think maybe we can get a shop in here a little bit
Okay.
so that you can actually pull something in here.
Sure.
Gate or whatever, if you need to work on it, and you'll still have that. But then we can still have maybe, it'll be an area that we're thinking maybe put a wall on that, and we can put some heat in here on this side maybe.
Now, but in terms of the other side with like wagons and stuff, isn't this barn as I've never seen the barn look this large, but in comparison to the modern equipment, it's not going to fit.
Right, but
Okay.
we did have a measure the equipment, and if the center part, my son should be able to pull the semi straight through here, which
Oh.
will help.
Okay.
Is
that-
because backing
Yeah.
wagons and stuff in late at night after you've combined is kind of tough, and we never had electric. We never had lighting to see, so I had to hand it to him. He's pretty good at it.
Okay.
But I like this door. I think this is unique what they came up with.
What's going on with the door?
They made it into a pocket door. I think we have to go outside.
Let's go outside.
And then that way it just all can slide into this area right here. So
Very
it's pretty
cool.
cool. And this whole thing then will slide. So that's pretty cool. And so that solved our problem with, we tried a hinge door, and our original builders, dropped half the door. And then and then the wind caught it and blew it around and bent the hinges. I had some strap hinges. So it just was not working out. So when they came up with this idea, we thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And we can maybe put some little lights back here. I think it'll...
I like that it opens out to this view. Yeah. I know you are less impressed by it because you see it every day. But
it is still good. And when you're up in the haymow and you look out, open the window door and look out. Yeah, it's pretty peaceful.
Wow.
So here's the door open, and then I think we need to show it.
Sure.
So you can get the idea. Now, like I said, it's not done yet. Here you can see, this is a good place to show hand hewed, but you can see where pegs have come out.
Right, right.
Here's some pegs.
And so this was originally, I remember this as a hay stack, hay
and straw.
Hay and straw. And is that the future of what this is going to be up here?
Could be, but I'd like Cody to put some plastic down so we don't get a mess down there.
Okay.
Yeah, this you can tell. I don't really want to do it in camera, but you know, from going over it back, you know this.
Okay. Okay, right.
See how worn it is?
That's a move.
From so many times. And here's how you do it, Eric.
Yeah.
When you're short, you pull, you hold on to the side and roll off.
All right.
See that?
Wow.
That old beam. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I got you. So this layout here existed before, but the stairs are new.
Right, we didn't have stairs. I wanted Mom to be able to get up here in the haymow.
Gotcha.
And when she came up, she goes, your dad and I had a lot of conversations over there, and she was just crying. She
really?
Teared up. Yeah.
What kind of, like?
I didn't go any deeper, but
okay.
I think maybe when they're doing when they were bailing, maybe if Mom and Dad were up here, you know. So it's her little secret. So, but I don't know. But I'm glad that she shared it. Yeah,
yeah. It's a nice thing to share.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Maybe the two of them were working hard together and having serious life.
Down there gagging, trying to get the bales up.
Sure.
Kind of view.
Wow.
There we go.
Love it. It's also nice that usually I'm here in Thanksgiving. Yeah. And it's pretty barren and cold outside. So this is a better time of year.
Do that up there. It's going to be really neat.
Yeah.
So we're going with this arch theme, you know. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the focal point and a fun spot.
For the whole family.
To rest.
Yeah.
Even the guy working on it said, if it's okay, I may come over here and just sit right here and drink a beer or something.
Sure. Sure. Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's it already looks so great.
It's a lot of work, but, you know, come back. Come back again. Okay. And there'll be more.
Sure.
That rolling pin was made by Mom's grandpa, Roland's, I think.
Yeah.
And she dropped it and the handle broke, so you really can't use it, but Mark glued it. He did a good job gluing. Are we recording right now? Yeah,
it's just going. It's just live. It's fine. I can cut out whatever. Okay, Judy. When people mention solar projects around Richwood and the local communities, what are they talking about?
The solar project is the solar fields that they want to put in place of the farm ground.
Okay. And so it's it's local farmers that are making a deal with a larger company.
Yes. So what I understand is they're signing contracts to lease their land for, what I have heard, they lease it for 35 years and they get paid for 30, but each contract could be different. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's for long term.
And so in doing so, what the farmer is doing is giving up the ability to farm their land. It completely destroys any possibility that they can farm it.
Right.
But you get, as a benefit, the revenue from a solar project.
Right. And I'm not sure what they're getting from that.
Okay.
But substantial amount, I take it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get back to that. But, okay, this is extremely controversial in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Why?
Well, it takes away farm ground.
Okay.
Which seems to me that it would take it away permanently, because these solar panels are put in the ground, I believe 11 or 13 feet. The poles are put in the ground. I used to know the statistics a little bit better.
Sure.
So I don't see how that could ever become farm ground again after doing that.
Okay.
I believe there's over 14,000 acres in northern Union County. I'm not sure. Other people are better, could answer those questions better.
I hear. When you say that, is that is that total farmland, or when you say 14, that's not the solar project? Isn't that big?
Yes.
Oh, the solar project is that big.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's eating up a serious
Prime farm ground.
and a pretty big percentage of it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Therefore, there's less ground for farmers to farm in this area. Therefore, making it a little more competitive, to get the acreage that you need to make the money that you're used to, too.
For sure. Is there a divide between like the larger farmers and the smaller farmers, or does everybody kind of feel the same way? Regarding the solar, yeah. Like, are the larger farmers more okay with it, or the smaller farmers more okay?
I haven't noticed that. Okay. Well, from what I know, there's a lot of larger farmers getting rid of or leasing some of their land. But a lot of it is they're either ready to retire, they have no farm succession in their family, or just the money, situation, I think sounds good.
Sure.
Less effort. And farming's expensive. Everything's went up. But on the flip side, it's destroying the land.
So it's interesting to me that the contract is, it seems like, from hearing you talk and other people talk, that the solar contract is so lucrative that it's substantially more than you would get otherwise by renting out or even farming the land yourself.
Well, I don't know, because you can't predict what the amount of money that you're going to get for your crops. In the long term, you don't know how well your crops will do.
Okay, sure. So it's possible then that, that's interesting. So it's possible that these farmers are signing these leases over, and it could end up being a net loss relative to the.
But they'll be long gone,
okay.
At that point. And plus, like I said, I don't know what they're getting, so
yeah,
I don't know. But a lot of them are older, and after a 35-year span, they're not going to be around to anyway. Yeah.
How did this whole solar issue start?
Well, I don't know. When people were being approached in the beginning, it was something so new, no one knew, anything about it. I almost feel like they were tricked into it or something. And before any, I think, regulations could be made on it, people had already signed some leases.
Gotcha. And then at this point, it sounds like some counties are banning it. Other counties are okay with it, or do I have that wrong?
Right. I don't know how. You mean like in Ohio, in general? I don't know how it's working. I mean, hopefully other counties have got hip to that and set some rules before, they come in and underhandedly,
Sure. But so here, it's still fair game. Like any farmer can sign over there.
No, right now we're waiting. We have some that are already in place, and then we have the Richwood solar project. We're still waiting to hear. I don't think they've heard yet how that outcome is.
Okay.
So they had the hearing. We sat through some of that hearing, which lasted several hours.
How'd that go?
That was interesting to see how who showed up, and who spoke, and a lot of the workers for the solar were there. I can't imagine that they really volunteered that to,
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to accuse that they were probably paid to go to say something, but, anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, that was interesting. People were very emotional. Some people were very emotional because, like I said before, their families it worked really hard to gain their farmland, and just to have it be destroyed by solar panels, I don't know. I just feel that if you want solar energy, you might want to pick a state where you actually have sun. Ohio isn't, the sunniest spot.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I don't feel that the upkeep will be there. The panels are so large, and I could see weeds growing up through there, and just them not being as effective as they could. And I've heard some things on that too, on the effectiveness of them for not that length of time that they're leasing. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's going to leave the land looking unattractive,
Right.
I worry about the trucks. It's supposed to be, the Richwood Solar is going to affect down the road from me. And I've heard negative things about all the trucking going back and forth. I have grandkids that get off the bus here a couple days a week. And so I worry about that. Just from the previous project that was done. That's one concern. So we love the farm.
Sure.
We want to keep the farm a farm. So if we would go the solar route, would there be enough beauty in the farm that you would want to keep it?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. you lose what
It's
makes the farm
gone.
a farm.
Yes.
It's effectively gone.
Yes.
There you go.
And like I said, I felt, especially after Dad passed away, and I going down the road, and it really hit me that, like I said, we're just caretakers of that land for a little spot in time. Even though I feel Dad lived a full life, in the whole scheme of it, life moves on. You know, there's another change, and I just hope that whoever has that farm feels that way, to take care of it. You know, take care of. Dad was so good about keeping the creek cleaned out. You know, if trees fell, you know, so it wouldn't dam up. Some of it is just nature, let it go, you know. But others, you know, you gotta put some work into it to have that. I know that cat, to have that much, to have say 158 acres. It's a lot to oversee. And Dad knew trees and knew what trees to, you know, that you want to keep that one growing, you know, or where things needed cleared out. And, you know, Grandpa dug the pond so that the water had a place to drain, and to make a good crop, you know, and just doing things constantly to improve it, or to just keep it well maintained. You know, why not do other programs in agriculture that you can, you know, maybe get paid a little bit for that program, but yet it enhances wildlife, you know. I mean, do you really like the farm? Do you like farming, or is it really all about the money, you know?
I want to take the time to thank my Aunt Judy for being willing to share her stories and perspectives, not only with me, but also with all of you. And her passion and enthusiasm for the rural lifestyle really comes through when she talks about Richwood, as well as when she walks us through her barn restoration project. And I can understand her perspective on why she's fighting so hard against solar companies that potentially threaten to infringe upon her lifestyle and way of life. See you next time.